Welcome to HeroQuest fans. We are live on twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans. We replay on YouTube, XSC3, home of HeroQuest fans. If you're listening on YouTube, we're not live, but we are live on Twitch. This is a very special episode of HeroQuest fans because we are premiering, non-sponsored, but premiering I think this is the first public playthrough of the intro quest for the Lost Quest pack, Wizard pack, created by Luca Paschi. Just so you know, this is in the style of the 1993 unreleased Wizard Quest pack. We'll be playing it live with heroes. We do have some heroes here. Let me introduce everybody, but first, thanks to Suno.com, we used their AI assistants to create some theme music. I put it together, but it is created with the assistance of AI, Suno.com. All right, and if you do want to interact with us, easiest way is to hop into the HeroQuest fans Discord and go to the voice channel known as Quest Talk. Introduce yourself, we'll get you going. Now, we only have so many hero slots for live heroes to actually play as we play HeroQuest. Everybody else, though, who wants to participate, go to the Twitch chat, so twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans. And at the bottom of your chat screen, you should see where you type a message. You can actually key in the rewards using your gold coins, your channel points. You can interact with us as we play, affect the quest as we play. I mean, within reason, because this is not a play test. This is actually a play. So we're going to try to have fun. Just keep in mind, when you play it yourself, things may be different. If you're playing it strictly by the book, or if you're adding your own homebrew, if you're playing it with the modern HeroQuest versus classic era HeroQuest, it may be different. But we're excited, super excited. And I'm just going to keep on talking all night, so I'll stop and introduce our guest tonight. We've got Bohemius, and we've got Grimlore, Glasgow Gargoyle, Hispazargon, who has done massive playtesting for this quest specifically, and some guy named Luca Paschi, who I've heard of once or twice. No, I'm just kidding. He's back. He is the author. Welcome to you all, and Luca Paschi, I'm going to give you the floor because I feel like without you, this wouldn't be happening. So thank you so much.
Welcome. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think I need to turn your volume up just a little bit, though.
Okay, so let's tweak it. So
yes. Some of you guys are more soft-spoken than my loud, brash demeanor. And I know I need to fix my camera. Okay, I think that's a little better. Go ahead, Luca.
oh, good evening, everyone, or maybe not evening, but it's evening here. So I'm just gonna say that, and welcome to tonight's stream. What can we say? I mean, maybe you can introduce the topic for today.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, so this is HeroQuest fans on Twitch, and it is going to be part interview and part live game. This is a quest that you wrote for the Lost Quest Packs project. I call it that. I guess, what is the official title of the project, would you say? Does it have an official title?
Well, I guess not really, or maybe more than one. I mean, the project is about the Wizard Quest pack, but of course the pack has its own name, so it's probably like Restoration of the Wizard Quest pack or the Sinister Sorcerers. We can decide whichever title we like the most. So
I was super excited about this because, as you know, I'm a HeroQuest fan. Surprise. I think we all are. But there is that historical investigation that happens, knowing that there were other things released in the 1990s that we didn't know about, that never came to store shelves. And one of these is this Wizard Quest pack. I mean, I remember back in the the game system. So I grew up in the U.S. So the game system said, "Wizard, save your gold," because you can't buy very much from the armory, but there'll be powerful magical items you can have in the future from future expansions, and we never got those. We never got those. So I always wondered, and a lot of fans wondered about the Wizard Quest pack, well, in the Dwarf Quest pack, because we had the 4 heroes. 2 of them got their own dedicated packs. We got Mage of the Mirror for the elf, we got Frozen Horror for the barbarian, and now in modern times, Avalon Hill has re-released both of those with some modifications. But people still wonder about those other 2 packs, and the history that we've heard from you is that those draft notes that were being worked on back in the 90s. Oh, thank you. Those draft notes found their way online, and you were able to purchase copies and decided that you were going to make basically a playable version of what we might have seen back then. And I was so excited to be part of it, and I'm so grateful. Even though I didn't do a whole lot of work, I felt like I mostly just helped you guys correct some of the spelling mistakes and, discuss some of the rule mechanics, because it wasn't finished. That was the thing. It wasn't finished, but you guys were going to try to put together like a finished version, and not so much make it a modern game, but make it how a hypothetical reconstruction of what it would have been like.
Yes,
Right.
that was one of the issues because, of course, now we know a lot more than we knew back then, and we've seen a lot of other games in the years. But the challenge, I think, was to make something that was as close as possible to the original game, the original concepts, not something that can come out in 2025. It doesn't make sense to make it like that. There's the newer HeroQuest. There can be other fan-made content that it's more modern somehow. Mm-hmm. So to be able to fix everything so that it fits perfectly in the 90s game system, I think was the one of the major things that we wanted to work on, that we wanted to have. And of course the other one was to try and preserve as much as possible of the original drafts, even if it's not always easy, because maybe we have 2 different conflicting versions, and so we have to come up with something. But in the end, I think we did a pretty good job about that. So we are happy for now about what we did.
Very nice, very nice. And I too am of the opinion that preserving that historical text is so neat. I mean, I would love to see drafts of all the HeroQuest projects. I'd love to see the rejected designs that Stephen Baker had back in the day, which I know some of those have been revealed on Jordan Sorcery's podcast.
Yep.
But this especially, because I think I, like many people, didn't have the Frozen Horror and Mage of the Mirror back in the day as kids. But I think if I would have gotten them, I would have been very frustrated, because there were a lot of gameplay issues. There was a lot of brokenness, problems, things that felt unfinished. Then again, if I was dedicated enough as a kid, because I think at around 1992, I was starting to drift into video games and stuff. But if I had just sat down and said, okay, it's summertime, I've got this game, my brother and I want to play it, and we've got to just make it work, I would have set to work being creative and like coming up with solutions and figuring it out. Like, how is this Yeti hug going to be better, and adding things. And maybe if I'd had the Wizard pack, I would have done the same thing. But not everyone is that dedicated. So I think even though your team was doing the work to try to figure out a playable version, and still guessing what the designers wanted to do based on, little pencil scribbles and sticky notes and like highlighting that they had done in the margins and stuff that was crossed out and you could barely read it. You came up with something that you thought would be faithful to what they would have done, not necessarily what we would do in our version, because we know that once people get this, because it's going public at some time, I won't say, because
yes.
At some time it's going public, and people are going to make their own decisions anyway. So if I want to
Yeah.
say, I don't like the way the staircase looks, I'm going to turn it into something else. Boom, you can do that. If I want to just use this as an inspiration for something else, I'm free. Just like any other part of HeroQuest, it's like a sandbox. It's like an inspiration for your own creativity, your own headcanon, your own lore. And I think that's wonderful. But it also means that at a certain point you have to decide, okay, it's good enough, and just
Yes.
release it. I think there's been some frustration from some people, including myself, to say it's good enough. Just release it. It could always be more perfect, but why don't you just release it, right?
Yeah, no, at some point you just have to call it a day and just release it because it's been already 4 years and the wait has been frustrating for us as well. As we, if we could have done that in just a few days, minutes, whatever, we would have done that, but not really possible like that. So
You
it took
needed
some
some time.
time, and we want to release it as well. So now we struggle to just get the finishing touches ready so that we can release it in a very, very short while, I hope.
I'm super
And
excited.
I think everything is about to be ready. We had stream yesterday. I already gave an update, but well, let's give it one more time. The
Hey,
main,
can I interrupt you for a second,
yeah, sure.
please? Luca Posky. So I acknowledge, and I guess I should have said this at the very, very beginning, but Cristobal at LaGuardia de Morcar has done a stream on YouTube already. Check out his channel. He went over the whole intro quest, and
Yep.
HeroQuest Italia, I call them the Grog, but I mean, the Grog is the name of their show, but they're also on YouTube. And you did an extensive interview, and I did not get through the whole thing, I admit. I waited for the subtitles because I don't speak Italian, um, and I didn't get through it all. So I don't know exactly what you said on that one, so I do want to hear this. Go ahead, tell us. I really want to know when the full pack is coming out, but you have the
I
floor
think
again, sir. Sorry.
I think this is the important part, and everyone is wondering about this. So let's just say it again. That's fine. We basically have the main quest book and cards ready. We just gave the final touches, I think 1 week ago or a couple weeks ago. And we feel like it's probably the last version that we have to work on, that we are fixing. The art is ready and it's awesome. You just had a glimpse of what it is, but we redid some more tiles and it's just amazing.
So this is
The
not final.
miniatures are ready. It's not final, but we wrote that it's not final because
Okay.
things can always change. So they can always get better even before just before the release. So this was the first mock-up, and now we changed a few things, and we think we did it for the best. So we think it looks even better now. The miniatures are ready. Design them to be injection moldable if we want to go that way.
Oh.
And of course this makes them even easier to 3D print, as injection molding is more demanding technology. So if you do it for injection molding, it works better for 3D printing. And the only thing that's really missing is the back of the box, as it requires you to have a full pack for the photographs. And of course we had to finish everything before we can take the final pics to put on the box, but that's not a lot of work. We've done worse so far, so it's gonna be too hard.
Well, because
Other than this,
they didn't have CGI in those advertisements back in the 90s. Yeah, they would have
yeah.
shown you. I mean, they would have shown you a picture. I remember reading about it. The original HeroQuest boxes showed metal miniatures that had been painted like solid
Yes.
colors to look like plastic, and the board was just printed out on a piece of cardboard and folded, and the cards were just
Yeah,
cut out. They weren't final.
Yeah. You can see also in this case it was made the old way. It's not
Yeah,
CGI. It's a real photograph of real stuff.
I
So
like that.
yeah, we did all in the old way. Also, every little bit of art is not AI generated. It's just handmade by an artist. So we're also proud to have made things the way they were, and so we're very happy about that. And the thing is, it won't take long to finish the box, and we're just gonna have to do a little play testing of the things we changed after the extensive play testing that Hispa made. I think he spent
Hold on.
already almost 100 hours of play testing
Wow.
between the main pack and the intro quest. But we feel like there's just not gonna be any change to be made or very small ones. So we are almost ready. Just take some more time to translate it in the other language. We are about ready to release it. I know we pretty much always say that, but we are just as close as we ever were to releasing it. It's gonna be very soon. It's time for real. Like we are ready. Yeah, it's 2025. I'm not sure we're gonna make, but if it's not the end of 2025, it's gonna be the very beginning of 2026. So it's
Thank you.
really gonna not take that long.
Yeah, get well soon, Geek on Giddy. Sorry to hear about your illness there, and appreciate the support. So you didn't completely do the fake job best because it should say available 1993, but no.
Yeah, no, well,
I'm
we
joking.
just had to update it, you know. So
Wait, and it says here are two quest packs. Wait. So there's wizard where dwarf pack goes here, right?
at the beginning, yeah, it was supposed to be there. Then we felt like it would be a bit too much to bite to have both packs
Already.
worked at the same time. Also because at the beginning we not didn't really know how to actually do that. You know, sort of something that you learn along the way. So at the beginning it was two packs. There was a little synopsis for the dwarf pack as well. Then we thought that it would just gonna be better to just have the wizard quest pack in this case and feature what we had so far with the full mock-up, also to show how the work was going, that it was real, that something looked cool and awesome, and it was not just us saying things or promising something that was never gonna get delivered.
Oh man, I got some comments for you. So I think that's always been a big issue whenever it comes to some online fan project that comes out because once you start talking to the public, you get people that are invested in it, interested, and you start to run into that issue of, well, why can't you just release it? Like, what's taking so long? Or people disagreeing about, well, why don't you do it this way? And you're like, no, I want to do it this other way. And then you kind of get that back and forth. I sort of wonder sometimes. I know why you do it because you want to put your work out there. You want people to get interested, give you feedback, give you suggestions, and kind of motivate you to get it done. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like I almost think the best way is just finish the thing quietly and just release it. Of course, then you're going to get people that say, "Well, you should have done it this other way from the very beginning," and then you feel like, "Oh,
Sure.
oh well,
Well,
do it
I
better. You
think
want to do it better, do it yourself."
that's sort of the challenge we're gonna allow. Um, Took a long time, but we feel like we did a great job. If someone else want to comes up and do something better, we are waiting. I don't think they can do that. See what
See,
maybe we'll be surprised.
the challenge has been
And
made.
yes, but of course we could have done that very quickly, but by just releasing the drafts. But something that cannot be played because there are a few issues, of course, and the point is, I think whatever you do, there's gonna be someone that is not happy, because the historians just want to see the drafts, but they don't really care about the final product. There are people that just want to have something to play with. They don't really care about the history or something. They just want something cool. So it's not always easy to make everyone happy. We just did what we felt could be cool to do. So release a pack that just looks like it was made in 1993, that can be played, that is challenging, but still it's not impossible like the Barbarian or the Elf. We don't want people to die of frustration playing it. And still we also are gonna release the drafts, so if people want to read about that, they will have a chance to do that, no problem. If they want to work on something different, they can. So we feel like this.
Bravo.
Maybe it's not perfect, but everyone's gonna be happy.
Yep. Well, let me say another thing here, and then I'm happy to get Hispazargan on, because I know he is chomping at the bit, as we say, to get his voice in there. I want to say that I am definitely count myself among the people who just want to see the drafts. Like, I don't care as much about this other stuff. But that said,
But that's
I'm
cool.
I'm very glad that this is being done. I think it's very impressive. I think getting modern artists to like create stuff in a style, which must have cost some money to do, and all this work about creating the miniatures, like you didn't have to do that. We could just use miniatures from the old days. We could use stuff like this and just make our way through. But giving those options does go an extra mile. It does show a level of passion and dedication, and you're going to get people that are going to quibble with it, and they can do their own version, and that doesn't do any harm. So I wouldn't have done all this stuff, but now that you've done it, great job.
Thanks. No, I think the nice thing you were talking about, Cristobal stream, the video he uploaded yesterday, it was like about the introductory quest, and he recorded that last week, and so we didn't know what he was going to say, but he said something that I also said yesterday during the stream with HeroQuest Italia, is that all of this, it's really a love letter for the game, and we feel that if this passes through, if people realize that all of this has been made just because we love the game and we just wanted to do something cool about this game that defined our childhood. If we're still here and playing it, it means it's important for us. We feel that if that passes, that's the important part. It was a very, very long and hard work. It's been expensive and everything, but we feel like we tried to do our best and we did something that's interesting, and I think at a level that no fan creation ever reached. This really looks like, feels like, plays like an original expansion. There was so much attention to every little detail. I said this, I don't remember if we talk about that, but even in picking the barcode for the box, there was a research and looking into which barcodes were not used by
You're breaking up a little bit there.
two numbers that were not used, and so we used those because otherwise the game would have a barcode of another game, so that would break the illusion. Like this, they have unique barcodes that were never used. It's really a little detail, but I think it tells a lot about our mental issues, I guess, our perfectionism, but also about our love for the game and the idea to make something really special that can be memorable, and can be something really great for all the fans that want to see the content. We try to stick with what we had. We tried to change as little as possible of the original drafts, but still we wanted to give a nice experience. So something that was not impossible, like the barbarian, or
Yeah, more
very difficult as the elf.
more
So something
playable.
that is also enjoyable. Yeah,
Absolutely. Well, I'm gonna stop you there, Luca. We could probably talk for at least 2 more hours about this. I know you've done
most likely.
extensive streams, and I do want to probably catch up with you later. But I know that we got to do some game playing. I know that some other people have made some comments. I appreciate Sika Shem's suggestion there. Yeah, just see the final. Wait for the final product. Don't let the negative Nancy's and Debbie Downers get you down. Eudoxio was asking about what's the hardest part of bringing it to life. But let's hold up. Let's hold that question for a second, because Hispazargon's
Yes.
been waiting very patiently, and I want to get him on to talk. I know he's been here, but go ahead, Hispazargon. Please, you must be dying to say something. Is he still here? Is his mic muted?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me well? I guess yes.
Yes.
Can you
Okay.
hear me? Yes.
Yep. We hear you
Yep.
on Twitch.
Can you?
Yep. It's good.
Okay. Okay. So,
Hispazargon, I have a question for you. I know you know the answer already.
okay. So, I'm glad to be here. This has been,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay, so Hispazargon, I know you got stuff to say, but I want to ask you first of all, because I know you know the answer. This is not an official product, is it? This is something fans put together. So how is this different than just anything else you'd find online? Like you can go to Yielden and you can print off like the Japanese quests and stuff. How is this that we're going to experience tonight different? Can you say something about that?
Yeah. In my opinion, the biggest difference is that we have tried to create it with the minds of a 90s designer, right? So we have tried to get such taste, such charm, and the ideas they have at the time. However, we have, as Luca Passi has already explained it very well, we have tried to made it with a more, let's say, trying to ensure that the quest path would be easy to be play tested, okay? Sorry, to be easy to be played, right? So we perform a lot of play tests and try to make it affordable for a party of heroes who had just finished the game system campaign, right? That was the idea, and that was what we tried to do. It is not the only aspect. Of course. We have tried to put our minds in the minds of the original creator and bring back everything they tried to do. Unfortunately, they didn't finish. They didn't finish the job, and that's what we are trying to do. Okay? According to the Eudoxios question he performed some years ago, in my opinion, one of the most challenging topics was trying to limit ourselves. Okay, we are trying to make a product from the night. So it is, we are adult people, of course. So it is very difficult to us to decide how far we can go, for example, in the game mechanics, and how far we can go, for example, in a role-playing experience, because the original game didn't have it, right? So that's probably one of the biggest challenges we had. Deciding every time how far we could go, okay, with using the charm in the game, using the way that things were doing during the 90s?
I think I had a concern early on about how people are actually going to get this project, because to me it looks like a print and play kind of thing, right? Like so many other fan projects, you go online, you download the files, you print it at home, or you take it to your local print shop and you print it out, and then you play it. And there's all these like logos and things on it, which if you send this to a print shop, they're going to be like, wait a minute, is this Milton Bradley? Wait, you can't print that. Oh, Games Workshop, you can't print that. That's copyrighted. But you have to explain to them, no, actually, this is just a fan creation. This is not real. Okay, this is an attempt to create something. So you might have to remove some of this stuff if you're like sending it to a company to print for you, because they're going to say, no, you can't say HeroQuest on there, because Avalon Hill, I mean Hasbro, they own HeroQuest, and so you have to get rid of the logo if you're going to try to sell it. It has to be called something else. But I'm sure you guys didn't want to call it, LucaQuest or Lost Quest or something else. You want it to look like HeroQuest. But I've always wondered what's going to happen when this finally comes out. Is somebody going to try to print this out and sell it on Etsy and try to fool people, try to pretend it's a real, it's a real thing and not a fan creation? So I guess I wish you luck with that, preventing people from abusing that system. Okay, so Hispazargon's back. So I don't know, Hispazargon, let's get your audio back. So go ahead.
Yes, I am here.
Oh, you sound much better.
Yes, now it works. Sorry about it. Not sure how far have you listened to me or not, because yes, there were sound issues.
Well, I heard you saying that it was all about trying to recreate that style, that feel, that mechanic of what it was like in the 90s, to try to put yourself in the mind of those designers when creating these things. Because this quest we're about to play tonight is completely new. Like, it's made in this year. But it's still trying to be in that style of what they had back then.
Yes, it is. It's fairly new. Well, Luca Bassi created it. He has the genuine idea of creating this kind of, let's say, product, or let's say it is to promote in some way the overall project of the Wizard Quest pack. And yeah, it's a fairly new story. It's something we tried. Well, we already explained it in a kind of letter inside the PDF file of this of this introductory quest. Okay, we already explained it there that well, there were some topics from the Wizard Quest part that were not explained in a too detailed way in the pack itself. So we thought that, and there were no room for that on the quest book of the pack and so on. So we thought was important and was interesting to have them, let's say, introduce it in some way also with this introductory quest. We also had several ideas we had during the development process of our Wizard Quest pack, let's say. There were some ideas which we thought were rather cool. However, they had no room either in the final pack, because mainly because we were going to lose too much authenticity of the pack. Okay, according to the original drafts and what we think should have been done in the 90s at the end. So we have tried to rescue all those, well, more or less all those ideas we had, which we thought were really cool, and we have already included them on this introductory quest to be, let's say, they were cool enough. So we thought people should have them if they would like to use them on their games or enjoy them just in this quest. Okay. I think it's so interesting idea, and we try to achieve with this introductory quest more or less the same feelings that well, I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything, okay? Because you are going to play it right now on the channel on the HeroQuest fans, okay? But yeah, we try to, let's say, to give similar feelings that the players would have, the hero players would have playing the wizard, some of the quests of the Wizard Quest pack. Okay, so we try to give those kind of feelings. Of course, here we have some limitations because we have not leaked all the content of the Wizard Quest packs, so we have had to add some, let's say, extras, specific extras for this introductory quest. So, but well, I think the feelings are rather similar, and that was the idea. And really excited to see you guys trying to play this quest. We have Luca Pasi, Lestodante, every one of us of the team has participated on the design in some way on the design of this promotional quest. So we have put a lot of effort on it, and yes, and many hours of playtesting. So I would say that just this quest has had around 10 hours of true playtesting. Okay, just for this quest. So imagine the full Wizard Quest pack. Imagine how many hours are we playtesting it to have something rather calibrated with enough quality to be played by the people and enjoy it as better as possible.
So, Cristobal of LaGuardia de Morcar has beaten me because he's already done a live play, not a play test, but a live play. But the problem is he's recorded it, so he's not showing it till tomorrow. So I'm gonna beat him, but he still beat me.
Yeah, Cristobal is waiting. Well, he could have already posted it, but he's waiting for the games being played here.
He is a gentleman.
Yeah, tomorrow morning probably he will post his recording. Okay, tomorrow morning, Spain's time, Central Europe's time. Of course, we will see also there how this adventure is enjoyed. They played it physically, okay. We will see.
Yeah, as you will see with HeroQuest, every Zargon or Morcar puts his own spin on it. So every play, even though you're using the same paper, it'll be different, and I love that. And especially since this is a fan-made recreation, people are going to use different miniatures, right? I was thinking to myself, you know what you guys should do? You should make paper versions of all the characters, like for cardboard standees, because what if people don't 3D print, or what if people don't use, proxies? It's like, oh, I got to use this guy. It's like, oh, I don't have that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll use this guy then. I'll use this guy. And I know that's extra work, but if you guys don't do it, I'm going to do it. So I'll do it for myself. One thing, what was I going to say? Oh, I lost my thought. Well, that's what I get. Gun Giddy's making all these jokes about the 80s and 90s. Yeah, we love Cristobal. He's quite a character, and definitely check out his site. I want to play this, and I want to play it with you guys. And I have so many more questions, but we do not have a definitive release date, right? For the full pack. I mean, this pack, right? This quest that we're about to play is out now, like it's posted. But what the other 10 quests? When will those come out?
Well, that's a question that maybe Luca Pasi may answer better than me.
Oh, I remember. I was mispronouncing his name. It's been so long since I talked to him live. I keep calling him Luca Paschi, but it's Pasi. Pashi?
Yeah, don't worry. You can call me any way you like. No problem. Yeah. Well, I also don't have a definitive answer, but he's just throwing it at me because he's afraid to answer. As I said, I think the work is gonna be finished soon, so it's just a matter of having everything ready. We would like to just do as we did with this introductory quest, so come out with more translation at the same time. We think at least 4 languages are released, then maybe even some more, and that also is gonna take some time.
So we got English, Italian, German, Spanish.
Spanish, yep.
So we need French.
We may need French. We thought Portuguese could be cool, but someone has to take a step forward and help us with that. So
because you're not just using Google Translate, you're actually getting a native speaker to go over it.
Yes, I also edited the German version, and it was awful. Like, it was the worst experience in my life, because German is so long that it was very hard to fit everything in pages. So I don't want to think about how I'm gonna do that for Quest book, but I mean, we're gonna find a way somehow. And so that's also gonna take some time. Since we are just doing this in our spare time, it's gonna take probably at least a month, I think.
Okay.
So I think between finishing everything, being sure that everything is ready, the translation, we're gonna go towards the end of the year, and then we have to settle for a date. Of course, as soon as we know, we're just gonna tell everyone about the date, but I think at the very latest, probably first quarter of 2026 looks probable. So I think either end of 2025 or the first couple of months of 2026, if I have to take a guess right now. It's always hard to give a date because we know that things happen, and sometimes you don't use the date, but I mean, it's not really your fault. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be very, very soon. Of course. We want to release it.
Let me get you on the record to dispel some rumors, to crush some misconceptions. So, so it's either the end of this year or next year. But this is not in any way tied to Wizards of Morcar, right? You're not waiting for Hasbro to release something before you release this? You're just going to release it?
It just took us a very long time to finish it. So we, randomly came up around the same time. But no, it's not tied to that, or we don't think it is. It is possible that in finishing Wizards of Morcar for the new edition, some parts of the Wizard Quest packs were used, as we think some were used for the new edition, for some other expansions, or for the promo packs. But probably, considering that we know there's also a different quest line involving like Groshak's daughter, I think it's very hard to put the original Morcar quests with this thing, with the wizard one, so it's gonna probably end up being very, very different from the finished quest pack that we created. So I think no issues there.
Okay, and let me ask.
Kurgan, to complete
ahead,
a little bit Luca Paschi answer. I agree. I absolutely agree with him about it is so difficult to. I see so difficult to mix both packs, right? The stories, I would say, they are very different, and just to give some perspective about how long this project has taken. Imagine that our first complete draft of the Wizard Quest pack, the first draft we finished, took us mostly 1 year. Okay, 1 year of work, a little bit less, but around 1 year. So after that, we have been introducing a lot of changes, a lot of, let's say, fixes. And there were the miniatures, there were the tiles, there were the cards, there were the artworks, there were a lot of topics that needed to be completed in the very right way, we thought. And we have had many other later revisions until now. So as Luca Passi said, we know we are so close to the end. That's true. However, we know also, according to our experience through all these years, that maybe at the very last minute we find something that needs some fix, right? We still need to perform the very last playtesting. Of course, I can bet that it will go rather good than previous ones because we have introduced a lot of, let's say, improvements on that way. But yeah, at the very end, we cannot get the compromise. We cannot get the right date because we don't have it. But we are so close.
You don't have a you don't have a CEO of a company, a boss, yelling at you to get this done, or we're going to lose money and you're going to get fired.
Yeah, because
project.
we are doing this for our love for the game. Okay, we don't have strict goals to achieve. Fortunately, like Hasbro has, we don't have to forget that. That's
But
a company.
Our CEO is Dante because he told us that we should hurry up. So he's sort of the CIO of the quest packs. So
yeah. That's true.
There's some praise from Ivan of your testing method, Hispos-Argon, your difficulty calculator. I think he's talking about.
Yes, I can talk something. Okay, my difficulty calculator is a kind of qualitative predictor. Okay, it is not so, let's say, it's so raw. The method behind is still so raw. It's a preliminary version I have. Once I could finish it in a better way, I have ideas to finish it in a better way in the future, but I don't have time to do it. I will do, sure, but I don't know when. But with the model I have today, we can have some prediction about prediction about how difficult is a quest, how difficult is a quest pack, and we can compare it with the results got from other packs and other quest packs.
Yeah.
But it only has in mind how many monsters the quests have, how many traps the quests have, how are they, let's say, their mechanics and so on. But to be honest, it is not so probabilistic algorithm. Let's say, hopefully in the future will be, but not today. So the major difficulty tests we have done have been through physical and real playtestings. Okay, the methodology I used to follow. Well, we have had a campaign with human heroes, let's say human players, and it was one of the first tests, playtests we had, a campaign. Okay, and a full campaign played. But the ones I have performed, I used to do them in solo mode. Okay, in a solo mode, I have, let's say, polished through time, trying to look for the extremes of this situation when the players are, the heroes are progressing through the dungeon. Okay. Sure, it is not the very best method, but it is a method that I think works rather well. And each time we introduce new fixes and we play test them again, the new play tests used to, let's say, to fit with what we mostly expected after the changes. So, as said, could be not the best way to do it, but it is a way to do it. And until now, I think works rather well.
Okay, we got a couple more questions, and then I'm going to probably have to just put the hammer down because it is my show. I have to put the hammer down and say, thank you.
Sure.
We need to play. So Glasgow's question is, are these more elemental spells we're seeing here? I guess he's wondering about the contents. I mean, I see fire, earth, air, water. Are those new spells, or are these just the old ones? I mean, is everything you see in this picture supposed to show that these are the things that are going to be included? Exactly. So there's more treasure cards. I see. There's artifact cards. There's dread spell or chaos spell. See, they got me. We switched over to. I see doors. Don't be shy. I know the answer, but I'm trying to get you to say something. The monster card.
As far as I know, yesterday in HeroQuest Italia, this question arose also. Luca Pasi yet?
Yeah, maybe, but we didn't say much. I mean, we want to leave some space for surprises. Of course, all the content is new, and as we know, some of it is based on the Wizards of Morcar, as the European expansions were used in some places to inspire new content, but then some it's totally new or reworked. But of course, this is the pack for the wizard, so he has to have cool things, and we feel like having double the spells to choose from. It's a cool thing. We feel like having new artifacts he can only use. It's a cool thing. We feel new spells. It's a cool thing to have with all their little bells and whistles and specific tiles to use. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of things. It's a full pack with its full content. So
Okay, I would say at 3 o'clock, so 5 minutes, we got to start playing because otherwise we're never going to get
Sure.
to it. Yeah, we're gradually seeing more details about this Major Wizards Quest Pack project. It's amazing. Yeah, I'm bursting at the seams. I wanted to spoil way more than you guys, but I respect that you want to, yeah, release it on your own time. One thing I am going to ask, and I don't mean this to be a challenge, but I guess it kind of is, and as an interviewer, I have to ask tough questions sometimes. So I understand that there is a big issue with fan mods that are being sold out there. People will want to print this, and some people will want to sell this. They will really want to sell it, and I see the problem. This is full of problems. If you try to sell this, you got Milton Bradley logo, you've got the HeroQuest logo, you've got fake copyright dates, you've got Games Workshop on there. Hasbro is, even though this is like the retro style, Hasbro is going to come after anybody that tries to sell this. So I know you guys are not telling people to sell it. It's a print and play. And I know that you've told me many times that this artwork you see, you are not using artwork from the old drafts. None of that was usable. You actually had to come up with new designs. You actually had to pay people to create new sculptures, new artwork. I mean, other than the stuff that's already in HeroQuest, like the monster card back and all that. But one thing I'm wondering about is these wizard designs, because this to me looks exactly like the 4 Wizards of Morcar from 1992. So are these images just showing you what you could use, or are there going to be new designs for these 4 wizards as well? I know that was a long question, but what would you say about the wizard designs for the models that people can print?
In this case, the full layout is the content of the pack. Then, of course, there are already files available to print the old miniatures, and those in Europe can use the miniatures from Wizards of Morcar to play with this expansion, or they can get some used ones if they want the real thing. So for the existing miniatures, just use the models we had or the ones we could find online, as this is a physical mock-up of the game. So of course we had to have everything, all the miniatures and tiles. What we want to do is the pack will be downloadable, and it's gonna be a print and play release, completely free. And we sort of have two levels of security for if someone wants to sell it. The first one is, of course, the fact that there are logos plastered everywhere, and we know that Hasbro doesn't like people selling stuff
Right.
with the HeroQuest logo. They allow fan-made creations to be as close as possible to the real thing, but like you selling stuff. So they sent some CNDs to people that were doing that. The other thing is that the whole art, it's new and original, and the miniatures are original as well. We used the original prototypes as inspiration, but we did change a few things also because we didn't like the style of the North American miniatures, and we felt like we could give them a more games workshop feeling, so we modified something. Since everything is original, we can also one tries to sell it, so they can because it's art and it's proprietary, and so we can do something about that.
We need
feel that
we need a clip of Joe Manganiello coming in to say proprietary.
yeah
Yeah. So you guys own this art, the new art.
Yeah.
So you can tell
Yeah.
people, hey, why are you selling our stuff? Stop it.
Yeah. So we feel like it's a good compromise between having everything you can print it, and if you print it at home, you can also make it look like it's an original issue from the 90s. But of course, we don't want people to sell it or profit from
No.
our work in general, but also on something.
Yep.
It's something that should go back to the community, shouldn't be made to make money. So
Yep.
we have these two levels. Someone is probably gonna try to do that anyway. We can try to stop them. The more people know what this is actually, that it's a fan-made project based on the dress, that it can be found for free, the better it is. I mean, we can protect that. Then we have some ideas to try and help people to make their own copy. Maybe we talk about that another day, but still we feel that everyone should be able to have it their own way, create it as they like, but not be able or allowed to sell it, because that's not what this project is about.
Yep. Well, and it can be a powerful tool. I mean, some people only care about the money, but I think a lot of people are trying to be friendly with the community. So if they see that everybody is bashing them and telling them to stop, they may be motivated to stop.
Yeah, we hope that's gonna happen if someone thinks that they can do something that's not allowed. Then maybe, I mean, we already received a few requests, to remix the quest and change them a bit. We have fan-made project as well.
Oh,
we have no problem in people using.
That's a big question.
Their quest,
yeah, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
no problem.
I'm going to ask this question, and I don't know how you'll answer, but have you been contacted by Hasbro? Has anybody from Avalon Hill reached out to you and said, hey, I like what you're doing, or be careful with this, or don't do this, or have you heard anything from them?
No, no one tried to contact us. We don't know how they feel about that. Now we think they know at least we exist, but we never got a message or a call. Then maybe tomorrow I'm gonna lawyers from Hasbro that knocks on my door, but so far nothing happened. We feel maybe it's because also we were very clear from the beginning about what this is, and it's still a fan-made project. It's gonna be free, so it falls into the category that Hasbro let live for the past 30 years. If you go online, you can find a lot of fan content that is made to look like it's original. They never said anything. Even for the 2021 edition, they were generally very cool with that, except when you start selling it. We also did this in the old style because we want to show that it's not about the money.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people might even not be interested in this because it's not compatible with their new version, but we feel like this is how it should look like. This is how it should feel like. For the old version, it's tied to the history of HeroQuest. Should look like it would have looked back then.
Would you be,
so maybe this is the reason.
Would you be upset if somebody took this whole idea and just modified it into looking like it belonged with the remake version? Like using modern style artwork, like Max Dunbar-esque in that style? Would you be mad?
No, I mean, as long as they and clear what they want to make, it's a good way to spread it even more to the community. We made a quality job, so we are happy if people play with that. Of course, it has to follow the same ideas, the fact that it has to be free, the fact that it should be clearly marked that something it's not official, because otherwise people are gonna think, oh, they just released pack.
Yep.
How
Oh man,
I'm just gonna buy it. So,
Hasbro's lawyers.
yeah.
If we were worried about Hasbro's lawyers coming after you guys for this, it would be even worse if it were for the modern. Again, if somebody tried to abuse it. But I guess we'll
Yeah,
know if we look at this flyer and it's been changed and it says like Lost Quest. I think that's what you guys should call it, Lost Quest.
Yeah, probably.
You have to change it. And
It can be an idea.
It's BM or something, or it's like Game Fun Shop. It's not the really like if you're
Yeah,
forced
no, I
to
mean-
change it, I guess you're forced to change it. But
It can be a solution, of course, but that's the reason why we're not directly, because we don't want to have problems or create problems. And so if someone else wants to do that, then Hasbro is just gonna go after them. And I mean, sorry for them, but they look for that, so
yeah,
it's fine.
yeah. I have, so I was showing off, and I'm going to use this tonight. This is the Wizards of Morcar High Mage figure. This is the original. I had a 3D printed version for a long time, but I finally bought an actual original. So, but I understand most people probably don't have this. So if they wanted to play it with this figure, that's kind of not a great option. They're probably going to end up using some other figure, or they're going to use a cardboard standee, or they're going to 3D print something. But I don't know, if you guys designed like new wizards to use with this one that were kind of similar but not the same, that might be a cool thing. But I know that's hundreds of hours of hiring somebody to do it, and I guess the only problem with Adventure is it's so dark. It's hard to see all the detail.
That's basically the problem. I mean, what we're lacking is the sculpting department, let's say. And so we have to find someone who can do that. And it either takes a very long time or takes a lot of money to do that. So we would have liked to maybe slightly design that also be original. But it's also true that in this case we had the original models. I mean, we knew they were gonna use those models, so we just stuck with the 3D printed version. The scans that we have, they're not bad. And we worked harder on the design of new models, where we don't know how they would.
Yeah, I'm a big.
Still felt we could have more freedom there compared to the Wizards.
I'm a big supporter of the use of proxy miniatures. I mean, if you want to print something out and use it, and it's like, why not? If you want to kit bash something. If you want to use something from another game, and just say, yep, there's my character right there. Like, why not?
I think that's cool part about HeroQuest. It's also that the content of the intro pack, but also of the pack can be then used, adapted in other situations.
Shown that one before, yeah. I use a lot of Reaper miniatures, or figures from other games, crossbows and catapults, Old Hammer. Whatever you want.
Yeah, we feel that maybe for the new version, some proxies would just be easier to obtain. I'm sure there are a lot of new miniatures that fit the 2021 style, so we don't have to do that because there's just something already.
Yeah. Yep. So Geek on Getty has made lots of comments, and I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to acknowledge. So I do want to say one thing. Thank you guys in the stream. Thank you for unlocking the arena battle. So enough people contributed that we do have a future arena battle, and I'll have to figure out when we'll do that. So thank you. We'll get ready to start the next one. Thank you for all the subscribers. Okay, well, it was awesome hearing from you, Luca Pasci. Pasci or Pasci?
The time has come.
Yeah.
Pasci.
Pasci. Okay. I'm never going to get it right. Okay. Well, whatever your name is, thank you for your hard work. I look forward to seeing more of it. Thank you, Hispazargon, for all your hard work. Shout out to all the people behind the scenes who've been working on this, all the unsung artists, and I hope it goes well. And I really, really hope that people receive it in the right spirit, which is a passion project, a fan project, not something to be exploited, not something to be hoarded or tricked, but just to be enjoyed. And let it be an inspiration for your fan projects, I would say. Hopefully this will inspire other people to do other amazing things too.
We
That's
hope
what it's
so.
about.
And I just
Yeah,
want to say,
thank-
if people want to have more information, pack said a few things yesterday in HeroQuest Italia. I think the subtitles are there by now. Look at their video.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a bit more about that. Now we have to play, so we can do that.
Yeah.
But if you want more information, you can find that.
I'm waiting for the dubbing, so we get Cristobal, hola, ¿qué tal? Hola, pico, and then suddenly it's like, hello, how are you? I understand I'm going to be dubbed at some point too, so my voice will sound strange in other languages. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Feel free to stick around if you want. I'm open. So you guys.
Thank you very much, Kurgan.
Thank
you very much, Kurgan, for your support also for the project, and thank you everybody who is waiting so patiently for coming out. So let's see. We will see. I think we are soon.
Yep. Bohemius, I don't think he's going to talk about the Grimoire on the cardboard, because that's one of the mechanical. Oops, I've said too much already. All right, I'll be quiet. All right, we're going to play. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. How many heroes do we actually have tonight? We need a wizard.